If you wanted to know a little bit about me, the Expat Animator, this video is for you. Today I'm going to talk about my animation career. I will try and talk more in depth about each project in future videos. But for today's video, I want to give an overview of how I got into animation and what projects I have worked on. My two main animated projects are TREP and Traveling Gringos. These are my personal projects that I am most proud of. I also learned the most about working on animation with these two projects. TREP is a superhero that I created and is the one project that I can say I worked on all by myself, with the exception of voiceovers, music, and sound effects. Traveling Gringos is an idea that came about while traveling in Central America with some friends after we graduated from college. I did almost all of the animation work on this project as well, but I did get some help from my friend Eric, who coined the term Traveling Gringos. He also helped with writing, voiceovers, coloring, and he even learned how to lip sync the later episodes. These two projects kind of reflect my personality, and maybe that's why I never get tired of working on them. After I've been working on one for too long, I start to feel the need to change it up. So I will switch back over to the other project for a while, as a nice change of pace. TREP is more of a comic book style illustration. Mimicking comic book artists is basically how I learned to draw growing up. But I'm also a huge Jimmy Buffett fan, and the Traveling Gringos is my vehicle to get some of my traveling and adventure stories out into the world. Plus, those characters are easier to draw. All in, I've spent years working on both of these two personal projects, and I still enjoy adding to their stories. If you're a freelancer by day like I am, it's nice to have a personal project to fall back on to keep your creativity flowing. Even if you have an office job, you should still try working on your personal project at least for an hour a day. The other project worth mentioning here got me my first IMDb credit. It was for a film called Her Minor Thing. Her Minor Thing is a romantic comedy that came out in 2005. I was hired to animate the opening titles to that film in my Traveling Gringos style. They even used some of my drawings in the actual film, which I thought was pretty cool. There's a lot more to say about this project, as I've worked on it for over 3 months back in 2004, but I'll save that for another video. Beyond those 3 projects, my animation career can be divided up into working on a lot of animated shorts, 30-second TV commercials, and even an unreleased 2D short that was 10 minutes long. It was in high school, around 1994 to 95, that I first started experimenting with animating on paper. I would painstakingly shoot my drawings using an old video camera and tripod after school in the media lab. I think the teacher thought I was nuts. When I moved on to college, I first started using digital animation programs. I don't even remember the names of those programs anymore, but they were pretty bad. I was able to work on some local TV animation commercials. This was back in the mid-90s. Plus, this was before styluses, and so I was using a mouse to draw with. Not my best experience. But during college, I also practiced a lot animating shorts for film festivals like Spike and Mike. But after never getting chosen for anything I submitted, I eventually decided to work on my own personal projects, like TREP and Traveling Gringos. Then there was the time that I worked for months on an animation idea I had with 2 friends from high school. We did eventually finish the project, but we never did release it. To this day, hardly anyone's ever seen it. And finally, there was the one time I took on a 3D animation job for a client. I really don't like 3D animation. But you need to remember, nobody wanted 2D animation after Pixar's Toy Story came out. That was the first and last time I worked on 3D animation for a client. So there you have it in a nutshell. I'm sure I skipped over some things, but those are the ones that stick out in my mind the most. If you found this video helpful, you might like my Skillshare animation classes. I have 10 classes up right now, and I have more coming soon. Sign up and get 2 free months of Skillshare Premium with this link. This has been Patrick Davidson, the Expat Animator. See you next time.